I would like to invite quickly Sechaba Kodisang from the Business Clinic, who will actually take us through the business model. And then Sechaba will then be followed by Elvis, who will take us through how to build a compelling or a powerful presentation. Noting that tomorrow we'll be doing presentations, so it's very important to look at some of the nuggets that we need to take into consideration when we put together our presentations. And of course, as we're trying to develop solutions as well, it's important to look into how actually are we going to make money, how are we going to drive impact, and who are our customers, and all those really important things of transforming our solutions into a business. I would like, without any further waste of time, invite Sechaba Kodisan to help us basically take us through the business model canvas. Over to you, Sechaba.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. My name is Sechaba Kodisang. I am the community manager at the Business Clinic. I will be taking you through the business model and how to actually create one. Okay, please just give me a few seconds just to present. Awesome. Can you all see?
Yes, we can see it. Thank you.
Awesome. So the business model. First, I'd like to just give you my table of contents. So I'll be defining the business model. What is it? And then I'll be giving you the 9 blocks of the business model canvas, of which is a tool that you use to create your business model. And then I will also give you an example of one. And then from there, I will give you platforms or tools that you can use to actually create this business model. So by definition, a business model describes the rationale of how an organization creates, delivers, and captures value. It is the company's plan to make profit or drive impact. We all know that can be social, ecological, or economic, right? And it identifies the products or services that the business plans to sell. It is its target market and any anticipated expenses that will follow through, right? And it is quite astonishing that 55 business models are responsible for the majority or 90% of the most successful businesses in the world. I'll give you just an example, just one that we normally know. When you go buy a car, that's their business model. When you get there, maybe they tell you that car is for a certain price, but once you change the seats or the color of the car and stuff like that, and then the price automatically goes higher, right? You also see that when you go to your jewelry store, when they offer you coffee and stuff like that, when you walk out, you find that you are paying more than what you actually bought. So that model is called the add-on business model. Another one is subscription, of which we know from Spotify, you subscribe to it and you pay on a monthly basis. So those are the examples that most businesses are now using. From the business canvas, we know that the business canvas is a shared language or a tool for describing, visualizing, assessing, and changing business models. Remember, again, a business model is continuously evaluated. Why? Because we live in a rapidly changing world, and the environment is always different and is always changing. I'll give you a practical example. COVID hit us. Now the environment has changed how we actually do business. Now we do business virtually, and most businesses actually have to adapt to this. They have to now change their business model. That's why it is very important to always evaluate your business model and to see how it best fits the current environment. The 9 building blocks of this business model canvas. We have the customer segment, which primarily deals with your target audience. What do you plan to actually offer these target audience, right? Give you another example of just a customer segment. You look at Facebook, it has different customer segments. You have the segment that is looking at just connecting everyone in the world, and then you have another one that looks at the business side of it, the advertising side of it, whereby your corporate or advertising agency, they can actually buy data or buy these data of people that are actually on Facebook and actually advertise depending on age, depending on locality, and depending primarily on what you actually view or you search on Google, right? And then we have the value proposition. The value proposition, it is there to actually stipulate what is it that is unique that you offer. It is what differentiates you from your competitors. It is the core of your business. And then we have channels or customer channels. These are channels that you use to deliver your value proposition. Okay. We have also the customer relations, of which the customer relations is how do you relate with your customers? How do you connect with your customers? It's about whether is it indirect or direct, right? This has to do with the customer segments as well. How do you relate with those customer segments? Like I said, for Facebook, they relate to other businesses by actually offering them data to advertise to, or people catered for their companies, right? And then the other bit is the other block or element of the business canvas. It's the revenue stream. It's how will your value proposition bring in revenues? How do you make money, people? It also talks to your customer segments, like what customers, how do they pay? What streams do they use, right? To what streams of revenue are you going to actually create from your customers, right? And then we have the key resources. The key resources are the assets that are already available in your businesses or in your business. This can be yourself as an entrepreneur. This can be your computers. This can be your land and buildings, right? These are your key resources. And then we go on to the next element, which is the key activities. The key activities are the activities which are essential for the success of your business. These are activities that you have to do on a day-to-day basis or on a month-to-month basis, depending on your business, right? This is what actually brings you money into your business as well, right? And then we have key partners or key partnerships. These are partners that you obtain through networking with other people or other business to make or help your business succeed, right? And then we talk about the cost structure. These are the costs that are associated with you doing your business or the business itself, right? The expenses. I would like to go to the next slide, which is about the example of a business canvas. So this is the lean model one, as you can see. As you can see on your far right, it deals primarily about your customers. What is your customer segment and how are you going to relate with your customers and the channels that you are going to use to actually interact with these customers. These can be your websites, these can be your apps, these can be your telephone, or just direct relation where they can just, for us here at the business clinic, we have another one where a person can just walk in and then use the space ad hoc, and then that's how we can actually interact with the customer as well. And then on the far left, it's the key partners, it's the activities that you will have to do and the resources that you have. And you will see at the middle, it's the heart of the business. This is the value proposition. This is the core of your business. And below the two blocks on your right, you see that's the value streams. How will you make money, right? And then on your left, it's the cost structure. It's about the costs that are associated with your business, right? Okay. And then the tools or platforms, I'd say that open source and free to use for one to actually create their own business model for their corporation. I'd propose use canvanizer.com. It's beautiful, it's colorful, it shows you how to actually use a business model. You can create it. There are various types of business models that you get there, all following the same suit, depending on the business, whether you want to do a minimal viable product, or just whether you want to just do a whole business model, or just focus on just a lean side of things, or just maybe test your business model. So you can test it with canvanizer.com. It's a free platform. You can actually create one right now while you're still in the hackathon, or you can use it in the future. So I made a mistake there with Entrepreneur. Entrepreneur.com, it's another platform of which is also free to use. You can create your own account there. I love it because of it helps you create your whole business plan and a business model. Those are the outputs that you will get by just following their process there to actually guide you through, and there are videos as well to guide you through to actually achieving this business model. Okay, thank you. I don't know if I still have enough time just to take you through an example of business model for our business clinic, just a practical example. Awesome. So this is the business model for the business clinic. We believe we are a center for entrepreneurship, leadership, and innovation. As you can see from the slideshow here, let me just get a slide. Okay, is it visible?
Yes, it is visible. If you can just have a, what is it, a presentation mode?
Okay, sorry. Yes, I'm doing so right now. Okay, this computer is taking forever. I think I have many tabs open. But while it's still trying to display, as you can see from our far right, you have the customer segment. For us, our customer segment, the first people that we serve, or our first customers, one would say our primary customers, it's the graduates or unemployed youth, women, and disabled people, right? And another one, it's institutions, right? We're talking about governmental agencies, we're talking about private agency, and just civil society. These are also people that we actually serve as well. These are people we actually view as our customers. They fall under our customer segment. And then the value proposition that we offer to these people or these customers, one, for graduates, unemployed youth, and women and disabled, is to actually empower them to be entrepreneurs, or just empower young innovators or people that are just starting here in this entrepreneurship game, with skills to build and operate strong businesses, right? And then for institutions, what we actually offer them is we match them with entrepreneurs, backers, advisors, and capital. As you would know, this would be most appealing to governmental agencies as well. We also accelerate job creation. We offer, we accelerate as well service delivery, and we have an impact on poverty reduction, right? And then another value proposition that we also offer to these institutions is that we enable them to actually comply, retain customers, and access new markets that wouldn't be able to access before. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, and then we go to what you call our customer relations. How do we relate with these customers? We relate to them direct and indirect. They can come to our offices and visit us and meet us face to face, and we can direct to them. We can interact with them virtually. That's where we can interact with meeting them with tailored solutions, or tailored through what you call website or our app and stuff like that, of which there's is dependent on their needs as well. So we can meet them via or we can relate or meet them via Zoom, Google Meet, and such platforms. Another channel for channels, they can also find us or communicate with us through our website, our social media page, and forums that we have, or conferences that we host here, or such events such as the First Tuesday, to actually interact with us. And then just go into the key partners. If you go into the far right, our key partners again can be governmental institutes. It can be your municipalities, for example. It can be governmental or developmental agencies, for private sector as well. We also see them as key partners. We partner up with them and actually pursue on activities that will actually bring value to the people on the ground. These can be your Investec or other private companies that we engage with. For an example, right now we have partnered up with other stakeholders here to bring about this hackathon. We have your Geek Culture, who are very experienced in actually managing and having these hackathons and realizing the solutions that come after the hackathons. Hence, we have partnered up with them. And then in terms of academic institutes, we also partner up with them. We equip their students with entrepreneurial knowledge and know-how and how to do. We also do research as well. Other partners can be civil sectors as well, where we partner up with them. Stuff like your Wise and Young Social Entrepreneur Network, we also partner up with them to actually realize their dreams, right? And then the key activities that we do would be business training and development, be coaching and mentoring, and also offer networks or platforms for networking. Those are the key activities that we do. Another one would be project management and consultation, right? And then our key resources would be our human capital, that's our staff, right? Myself included. I'm a key resource, I'd say. People as well that also use the space can be key resource. We can use their know-how as well, right? Another one would be the key resources would be the incubation space that we have, that we offer to entrepreneurs, leaders, and innovators. That as well serve as a key resource. Our office building as well, that serve as a key resource. And then coming down, the revenue stream. The revenue stream or revenue streams that we have would be consultation to create value and get revenue through consultation. We also offer training. We're talking about, again, office rental, so you can use our co-working space if you need space. That is a revenue stream to us as well. We also do subscriptions, so that therefore we have members that say, you know what, we love the business clinic, we like to affiliate with the business clinic. In fact, we want to work at the business clinic. Let us become members, and then they have a subscription price that they pay, right? And then we also have the cost structure, right? We have to pay the people that work at the business clinic. We have to pay the people that keep the business clinic clean. We have to keep the space clean. We have to have people that manage our social media. We have to have people that actually help us to make this business a reality and an Afri-Global brand, right? And then we also have administration costs. That's 10% of our cost structure. As you can see, we also have placed percentages just to demonstrate that how your cost structure should look like, right? And then we also have operations, right? That to make business, right? To make business, you gotta spend some money, right? There's nothing for mahala in this world, and as the saying goes. So yes, operations as well, you have to account for that. That goes into your cost structure. Thank you very much, everyone, for actually giving me the opportunity just to present to you the business model. I hope it is impactful, and then you were able to understand, and it will be vital for you with your MVP. And I think that's it. I will pass the baton to Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Taba, for. I would like to, before we move on to the next. If you may mute, please, Seth. Thank you. Mute and perhaps stop sharing. Thank you very much. I would like to just open up for just a couple of questions. If somebody has a burning question, I would like to just open for a couple of questions. I don't know who would like to come and give us a question. The first question. Anyone? I'm going to pick somebody. Naomi, should I perhaps pick you, my sister?
Okay. Okay, my question would be, for this hackathon, looking at all the problem statements that were given, we are solving solutions for rural communities as well as people who are not that advantaged. So how will we put that into a revenue if they won't be paying, or if the solutions that we'll be building will be looking to kind of making them free for these people to use? Where would our revenue come from then?
That's a brilliant question. Thank you very much, Naomi. Perhaps I can come in there, and I want to actually start with a question, right? This maybe will help to inspire us and actually also help to answer your question, Naomi. So, Naomi, imagine if I were to take my niece to the salon, who actually is the client? Is it my niece or is it myself?
Yourself.
Taker. Okay. Are you? So, according to you, you say it's who? The one who pays. Who is it?
Oh no, your niece is the client.
Okay. Yeah. You're not sure. Are you sure?
No, your niece is the client because she's getting her hair done. You're just sponsoring for it.
Okay, fantastic. So so you say my niece is a client. Okay, let me hear perhaps if there's somebody with an opposite view who actually believes that no, I'm the client. I don't know. Is there somebody there? Who's the taker? And Kululeko, can I call on you? What do you think? Anyone? Anyone?
Sorry, what was your question again? Sorry,
the question is, if I take my niece to the salon,
yeah,
who's the client?
You are the one taking. Is it you not gonna pay for it? You are taking, but no, she's the client still. Wait, no, who's the client? Both of you are. You paying, she's getting her hair done.
Okay, see, Paseka is answering there. So Paseka says, okay, see, Misha as well. Yeah, no, guys, I tell you, this is interesting. It's getting, it's getting real now. It's getting real. So I think, this is actually a great example of your question, because you're raising a very important question, Naomi, and Tobeka. I think I'd be happy to just also add a little bit of spice also to this issue, right? Let's add a bit of spice. What about my niece's parents? Where are they in the process? Are they clients as well or not? Anyone?
Maybe not, because you are going to pay for you, and you're gonna pay for her.
Okay, I'm gonna pay for my niece. Okay. So, but what if then my niece actually doesn't like the hairstyle?
So, hi everyone. So I would think your niece is the client and whoever's paying would be the sponsor.
Uh-huh.
But it depends. If she initiated and said, okay, I want the haircut, then, that's her thing to pay for. But if her parents said, you must get a haircut, it's not for her to pay for. But either way, she's the client and whoever's paying is the sponsor.
Cool. I mean, it's getting real. It's getting real. I'm loving this. Okay. So, I guess, Naomi, to answer your question, sometimes, you have different levels of customers, right? Or clients, right? So you have, your primary customers. You can also have tertiary, secondary customers, and you can also have tertiary customers. And one way or another, it doesn't mean the client is only the person who is actually paying, right? For instance, in this case, the customer has to be happy, because if my niece is not happy with the hairstyle, I may not necessarily take her back. She may not want to actually come back to that salon, even though she's not the one paying. Paying. So it's very important to understand all of those different kinds of levels. So when you develop a social enterprise model, so you need to look into who actually is interested in having this problem solved, right? And I think when you look at the business model that Sechaba shared with us, so the entrepreneurs may not necessarily always be the ones paying directly the business clinic, for services, but the business clinic might be, invited by companies or partner up with corporate companies that want to do a supplier development initiative, or government agencies that want to drive specific skills development or ensure that they build business. So as a result, you find that the entrepreneurs will be the beneficiaries, right? But they're still clients, because they need to be happy with the service that the business clinic delivers. At the same time, the clients as well have to be happy with achieving specific outcomes that they require. So there's different levels of client engagement that one needs to look at. It's not always a person. It doesn't mean if the person doesn't pay you, they are not your client, because if they're not happy, you may not necessarily be able to continue to deliver that particular service. And this actually, you see it a lot with NGOs, where you find that a donor gives money to an NGO and say, deliver these particular services to people who may not necessarily be able to afford to deliver those particular services, right? And however, the NGO must ensure that it manages its engagement with the beneficiaries, and the beneficiaries are happy, in order for them to be able to remain in that business of actually becoming an intermediary between the funder and the beneficiaries. I hope this answers you, Naomi.
Yes. So essentially, on our revenue stream, we'll have to include sponsors or donors and so forth, and not necessarily having the clients who we are selling the product to, which is the end user, being the one bringing in our revenue stream.
Absolutely, that's another business model, right? Where you find that there may be private companies that do corporate social responsibility, right, or what we call CSI. They're interested in perhaps some may specialize in water projects. Different companies have different kinds of responsibilities and so forth. And as a result, because of that focus area, they'll be happy to invest or support initiatives like yours. I hope that addresses it. I want to take just one last question. I can see that my presenter for the masterclass on presentation is also ready. Let me just take one last question on the business models. Anyone? Going once, going twice? Okay, no, let's actually give over to Elvis. Elvis will give us a masterclass on how to do a compelling presentation. Over to you, Elvis.
Good afternoon, everyone. Let me just confirm if my mic is audible.
Yes, we can hear. Thank you.
All right, great stuff. I'm quickly going to just try to share my screen. Okay. Okay.
For some reason, you stopped sharing.
So I'm sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just trying to share my screen quickly. Okay, there we go. Great stuff, great stuff. Good evening, everyone. And just first and foremost, I would like to just thank each and every one of you for participating in this hackathon. And that goes to all our stakeholders, our participants, and everyone who is actually forming part of this initiative. It's a very great initiative. And I think we are on a great path to actually, discover effective solutions that will actually service our people and our country going forward. By way of introduction, I go by the name of Elvis, and I'm a communications executive at ICRD Group, of course, working closely with the business clinic. I'm a strategist, and I define myself as well as, social entrepreneur. And that's basically me. And today I'm going to be taking you guys through, how to actually create a compelling presentation. And I've got a few key takeaways that I would like to actually discuss with you today. And as you can see there, it's basically the 3-act structure that I believe, it's a very effective method or approach when actually creating a presentation, and specifically if you want it to be a very compelling presentation and to stand out. There are also key guides that I'm going to be taking you guys, stuff that is really can help you to actually draft a very, nice and cool presentation to make sure that you capture all the points, but at the very same time, you don't, overload stuff in the presentation. I've got a number of tools that, I think at the end of the day, if you go through these tools, you'll be able to, achieve your goal. And beyond everything else, we know technicalities can also be a problem or a challenge. I'm also going to be taking you through that. Just a number of key takeaways in terms of, what to actually expect when coming to preparing or creating a presentation. And then I'll also give you a small amount of time to just ask questions, and I'll provide answers where needed. So first, let's look at the 3-act approach, right? So we have Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3. And if you look at Act 1, it's basically attention, interest. So here, to whoever you are pitching to, generally, you would want to grab their attention, but most importantly, their interest in what you are presenting. So you'll be looking into things like, sector-specific, codes or stuff, introduction that really incorporates stuff that really matches with whatever you'll be presenting, or whatever industry or field that you are presenting for. This is basically an introduction and a setup of how the presentation is going to look like. So you're basically giving a high level of what whoever you are presenting to, can expect within that presentation. So just like what I did in the previous slides, to say this is what you're going to get in this presentation. So that is the first step. It's basically what we call Act 1, or the first act. introduction part. So you look at act number 2. It's now that you have captured attention, and interest. You need now to sustain that interest. And how you sustain the interest is that you state a very clear problem statement. It's in a very specific way, and also state the solution to say, okay, here is the problem statement, and then here is the solution, and how do these things link? How is that solution really relevant to the problem that you presenting to whoever who you'll be presenting to. You do this basically through using data, insights, key findings as well, statistics as well, just to support your solution, as well as the problem statement. And then lastly, you would want to now present the application side of things, right? So here you want to show that, okay, here is the solution, but how are we really applying it? So you do that by building a case, right? So when you build a case, it's basically saying, here is the statement, here is the problem, here is the solution, here is how they link, and then here is how the application side of things are going to unfold. And then finally you recap to what some of the points that you actually highlighted previous in the previous acts. That's act 1, act 2. You highlight from that, and then you leave the panel with a call to action, of course. So that is basically a high level a structure or an approach that you can use to create a very good a compelling presentation. So it's 3 acts that you need to put into consideration. Looking at the key guides, less is more, and we all know that. So what do I mean by less is more? Is that avoid too much wording, of course. And nobody really remember, if you have about 6 minutes to actually present an idea, you wouldn't want a slide that is so much paragraphs, so much wording and all that. Really, you need something that is specific and straight to the point. And so you need to prioritize message and meaning, right? So get your message clear, but make sure that message, it doesn't demonstrate anything else outside of meaning. The only objective for that message is to actually make sure that the next person or the people that you are presenting to, they get the meaning by all means. And you do this in different ways, right? So you can't be reading to actually demonstrate stuff, but you can utilize different touch points and different aspects of it to actually make sure that the meaning is carried out within the message that you are sending to whoever you're presenting to. Reading is boring, and that is the number one point to take home. Do not read whatever that you will be presenting. You can create like small points, but make sure that you elaborate on those key points. Make sure that all those small points, maybe you can put them in bullet forms alternatively, but do not go through the presentation reading. It really shows a lack of preparation. And that's what I always preach, that proper preparation prevents poor performance. And if you have prepared in advance, you won't need to be reading through the slides. So reading is boring, and that is one of the points that you need to take home in terms of the key guides. And then demonstration. Demonstration is the number one key element, because as human beings, it doesn't matter even if it's in business or whatever, but we learn through images, because images is imagination is basically the first language that we use as human beings, right? So you whatever that you are explaining, whatever that you are presenting, make sure that you have, graphics that can help you with the look and feel. And this can be, the colors of the slides. This could be images, any type of content, including GIFs, videos. You can also incorporate icons. Icons are very important when presenting. That can actually save you, save you time and not being able to actually incorporate a lot of wording in your presentation. So that is basically a high level perspective in terms of the key guides that you can look into. But we also have tools, right? So I've got tools for you that I think personally, can be able to help you. And most of them I've actually used them, and they are free, but some of them have like an aspect where you can actually subscribe and get more from it than just the basic services. So you look at the first one there, you have Canva. So there you can actually create a presentation. The same presentation that you're looking into right now that I'm sharing with you, it was created from Canva. So that is a great tool. I use that tool for so many presentations, and I've been using it for quite some time now. So Canva is one of the platform that I can really refer you to. You get your icons, you get your stock images, you even get stuff like video editing and all that, if you want to incorporate video into your presentation and all that. So it's a very diverse platform. But we also have PowerPoint Online, where you can actually create PowerPoint slides, great, nice looking slides. We do have Google Slides as well. I know most of you are familiar with it. They're very the platform really creates a very nice look and feel in terms of slides. You have the Keynote and Flowvela, and these two platforms are actually good for people who are using Apple Machine. So if you're using Apple Machine, these two platforms can actually be able to assist you to create a very good looking and compelling presentation. So as I promised, one of my key takeaways there and my promises during the first part of this presentation, to say I'm going to also give you a technical some of the aspects to take into consideration in terms of technical stuff. So you look at that. I know for sure you will be maybe showcasing some of the stuff into the screen and all that, but you still need to check the sound as well. Make sure that your sound is proper, people are able to hear you very well. The right background as well. So this can apply if you're showcasing your face and all that, but it's just an additional to take home. So the right background is also important. And the camera at an eye level, it's very important if you're also showcasing your face. So get a table that is really a little bit higher than a normal usual office table, or any table that you might utilize, so that your face can be able to appear clearly there, so but also looking into connectivity issues, you might want to plug in your internet cable straight to your modem, so that and use Ethernet as an alternative, so that you don't face issues of connectivity as well. But most importantly, use redundant systems. And this basically refers to, things like making sure that if you're going to be showcasing a presentation, make sure that the host or the next person maybe has the presentation as well, so that when you face connectivity issues, that could act as an alternative, and you are able to continue with your presentation. And so that really gives you a high level perspective into how you could structure your presentation. And I believe that some of the tools that I've actually shared with you guys, they are very, very effective if, of course, you spend a little bit of time, playing around the platform and all that. At the end of the day, you'll be able to, create something very, very, very compelling. There are also free icons there, free resources that you can actually use on Canva. So that is some of the icons that you can actually jump into. And I'm specifically speaking about Canva because I'm more familiar with it. I do utilize some of the platforms that I've actually shared with you, but I spend a lot of time actually within Canva because I think it's a very great platform. So that shows you some of the icons that you can actually pick, drag and utilize there to actually shorten the number of weddings and all that, to make sure that your message is always clear and the next person gets the meaning of whatever that you're trying to communicate. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a quote from Margaret Mead, and it says, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has." And that is the most, a truthful statement, because if you look at most of the successful businesses, most of the successful solutions that have come to life, globally, this is because of some of the people or someone who actually thought and said, okay, a very thoughtful person, or thoughtful group of people to say the world needs to move from this direction to that direction, and together they came, organized themselves, hacked into the system, hacked into the future at some point, and came up with solutions that actually are some of the things that contribute to our daily lives today. So I would like to leave you with that quote. I'd like to leave you with that quote to say, I see this hackathon as one of those moments where a small group of people, a small group of thoughtful and committed citizens come together to change the world. So that is basically a high-level perspective of how you can actually, create a compelling presentation. And all the best with all the groups. Thank you very much. I don't know if Chair maybe can take over there. And if anyone has any questions, we can move forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Elvis, for that compelling presentation. We really appreciate the presentation given to us. I can see that we've got about 6 minutes left. I think it's always lovely to hear the people on the call. Some of your high-level thoughts, perhaps on presentations. If you have any specific questions, please let's take questions. So I would like to just invite a volunteer, anyone who wants to volunteer to give us just their thoughts or even questions in this 5 minutes that we have left. Who would like to come? I am going to invite people now. Hey, as a chair, you can take liberty. So I'd like to actually invite Thabo. Thabo, please invite you, sir, to please just give us your thoughts on the presentation, or perhaps on the subject matter of our presentation. So I'm not referring to Thabo. I see we've got also Thabo Boy. I'm referring to Thabo on the call. Thabo? Colleagues, any takers? Let me invite Kelly. Kelly, can you please come? Let me hear from you, Kelly. Oh, I see. Okay, no, I can see that. I'll take Kelly, and then I'll take Mutushi from there. Yeah? Kelly, over to you.
Hi, I just want to say thank you so very much to Elvis as well, and to everybody. I enjoyed this presentation a lot, and I like the tips that is given for the different mediums you can use in designing your presentation. My only thing that I wanted to check is the steps forward now here after we're busy in drafting our own things and playing around with lots of features. So I just wanted to check now for the balance of the day, what's up next. Thank you. But awesome. Thank you, guys.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much. And Mutushi, over to you.
Greetings, everyone. I also thoroughly enjoyed Elvis's presentation. I just had a question, right? So because he was just saying in terms of like keeping it short, is it advisable to just give a background in terms of what the province is currently going through, or must I just go into the solution at hand?
Okay, thank you very much for that question, Mutushi. I will just give Elvis a quick opportunity to just maybe answer some of these questions. The question, and then in this question, I'll give it to Charlotte before we close off the session. Over to you, Elvis.
Thank you, ma'am, for that question. Look, I mean, with regards to the background, remember, we in a presentation, you must also consider two things, right? So basically, that's time as well as the message, so that within that time you're able to communicate the message and more clearly. So, but with regards to background, I understand what you can potentially do is that you can be able to utilize content. This could be images, or this could be videos and all that, instead of being able, instead of too much wording and all that, but utilize content. And because content can actually carry a lot of message, and it could be a small piece of content, but it could carry a lot of message, and it could actually summarize what you could have written there. But just ensure that also on your side you are able to even if it's one sentence, you are able to elaborate it and make sure that the meaning is carried within that. The meaning is not lost within that. The key here is to actually be able to transfer the message to the next person as short as you can.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I hope that answers your question. And I think just to add a little bit there, I think storytelling is usually the best mechanism to also tell your story. Look into what is the story that you're telling, and I love the X that Elvis shared with us. And I think Steve Jobs from Apple, you see how they just use one-liner, like you can communicate your message with just one line, because the story, you will actually be able to talk to that one line, without actually having a wordy slide, wherein people now start focusing on the words there and not focusing on what you're delivering. So that one line strategy also works, and I think it's a good example that you can extract. So I will take one last question, and then we can I'll give over to Charlotte. Any burning question, burning comment? Paseka, do you want to maybe come in and just give your thoughts on presentation?
Thank you very much, Lucky. I also agree with the colleagues. It was a very good breakdown of how to present a compelling presentation. Obviously, it needs to also resonate with one's personality. So people need to also acknowledge what they're presenting versus how best to present it from their capabilities. Then something else that would probably be beneficial to the candidates in relation to what was presented, should the business canvas, since it's a great guide to all the answers to the questions of the presentation, should it be displayed on one slide, or should it be broken down? So that's one thing that would have been also assistful to add to that. Then further onto that, how much time will we be given in order to deliver those three aspects that he touched upon, being the intro, the solution versus problem, and obviously the call for action. So those are just some of my inputs and key questions that I'd like you to take note of. Thank you. Back to you, Lucky.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Paseka. Definitely your personality is also very critical. Thank you very much for highlighting that. I would like to just hand over to Charlotte. I think she'll be able to just answer these questions, some of the questions around what Kelly asked about what are the next steps, our schedule. Charlotte, over to you.
Thanks so much, Lucky. Yeah, let me just quickly present 1 second. Okay, so yeah, we are here now in the middle at just finished the business and pitching masterclass. Thanks so much to colleagues from the business clinic for a great session. So from now, basically, you can just work in your teams on your projects. Hopefully you have a good idea of the problem statements and of kind of how to go about some of these individual aspects that the judges are looking for. So yeah, feel free to go into your groups. You can stay on Slack, or you can use WhatsApp groups, Google Meet to work with your teams, however you prefer to work. Please do keep an eye out on Slack, because we'll be posting, for instance, the profile form and just kind of various announcements that you'll need to just be aware of. But the forms will only take a few minutes to fill in, and one person per team should fill in each form, please. And there'll also be a few more spot prizes on Slack, so opportunities to win data vouchers and food vouchers. So yeah, keep an eye out for those. But yeah, basically from now until tomorrow morning, you can just be working on your solutions. Mentors and organizers will be around, so you can keep asking us questions. And then, yeah, there'll be overnight hacking, and then tomorrow morning we'll open the day officially at 7 a.m. with some announcements also on Slack. And then, we'll be heading towards the finish line. So we'll also put out a Google form at around lunchtime, and you can start submitting your screenshots or any submission documents. And then we'll go to the grand finale at 2:30 tomorrow. So we've got 2 hours for pitches. As I mentioned this morning, each team will have 10 minutes. So you have 6 minutes to share your screen and present, and then 4 minutes for the judges to ask you questions. And they might give you a bit of that time if you do go over, but do try and stick to 6 minutes so that we can get everyone presented to the judges and we don't finish too late. And then, we'll do the prize giving at 4:45 tomorrow, and hopefully wrap up around 5. So yeah, that's what's we have on the schedule for the next couple of days. Back to you, Lucky.
Thank you very much, Charlotte, for answering the questions and giving us the roadmap from here. With these words, colleagues, I want to thank you for your time and your attention, and I would like to wish you all the very best, with getting your solutions, developed and ensuring that you're ready for tomorrow's presentations. From my side, I would like to say thank you, and we shall see each other again soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.